What this is something that I've been planning for a year. What is this? It's a tier list of all the games that I started in 2022. Now, I want you to pay attention to the way I say that. Games I started playing in 2022. It's not the games of 2022, because if you look at this list, like it's not. It's not. It's a list of the games that I played in this year, not the games that came out this year, but in this year. There are some here that I have played in this year, and I'll get to them. I'll get to them in due time. And also, it's games that I started, not games that I beat, because I didn't beat a lot of these games. I played a lot, finished very few. This was the year of start but don't finish. Just fuck off with it, I guess. So that's it. There's 48 games here, I think. So that's quite a lot. And let's just jump into it. It's rated from S to D, S being the best, D being the worst. And then there is also best game and worst game, which I will rank at the end to find out what is my favorite game of this year and what is my least favorite of this year. And then there's also the list of haven't played enough because I didn't play a lot of these games for that long. Not a lot. I still have some stuff to say, but there's a few in there that I played for maybe like an hour or two, and I was like, mean. I just didn't play. I just didn't have anything to say about it, I guess. Let's jump into it. This is in chronological order of when I started playing them. So the first game that I played of this year that I hadn't played before, I mentioned too, it's like new games that I hadn't played before, is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Now with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it is a re-release of Pikmin 3 for the Wii U, and I am a very, very big Pikmin fan. I grew up with Pikmin 1 and 2. I didn't play Pikmin 3 until like 2018, 2019, but I love that as well. Pikmin 2 is my favorite game out of the whole series, but I think Pikmin 3 is the best playing one. So automatically, like already, I think it's an A tier game, maybe even S tier. But what brings it down is the fact that it's a re-release. So Pikmin 3 released for the Wii U. I don't know how much it cost back then, but I bought it for like $25 off eBay, if that helps. Then when they re-released this game, I was like, oh, yes, the Switch sells really well. Pikmin 3 is an amazing game. People can play it more. And then I saw the little tag mark of $80. I was like, oh, okay, should be fine. I didn't buy it because I don't want to spend $80 for this game that I have already played and already like beat. I think I 100%ed it. I don't remember. So I waited until I bought it on some sale. It was like $53, like whatever. But my point is that this game should not have released for that much money. Like, they did add some stuff. They added like a new side mission whole thing. It's cool, but kind of not worth it. So I bought it. I played it. My thoughts, I'm rambling, is a very amazing game. Not worth that much money though. And with the re-release too, they added good stuff, but also the controls in the game is a downgrade. Like, you used to play with the Wiimote in Pikmin 1, 2, and even 3, and that was great. It worked really well with the pointer, the sensor. Pikmin 3 Deluxe uses the Joy-Cons. I played with the Joy-Cons, and it's fine, but you have to always recalibrate it, and it's just annoying. It's just frustrating. Like, it's annoying. So for that, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, A tier. Like, it would be an S tier. It would be an S tier if it wasn't for the downgrade and how much they overpriced this game. I thought it was fine playing it on the Switch. The legacy it leaves behind of being one of the best games on the Wii U and maybe for the Switch brings it up to A tier. So that's it. Next game is Pokemon Legends Arceus something. Now, my story with this game is I bought it, I played it for a bit, and then I dropped it. That's it. I played this game for a little bit, but I thought it was fine. I look at this game and I'm like, this is a great step forward for what it could be, but it can be so much more still though. The Pokemon Company is the biggest franchise in the world, and they produce this thing, which is fine. It's just fine. I was thinking of putting it in haven't played enough, but I played enough to know that I don't want to continue playing it. There's just not enough there. It's cool how it's like open world, but it just doesn't run that well. It doesn't feel open world because you just walk and then the draw distance is like 20 meters. And you just like see Pokemon pop up and you're like, well, this is nothing. This is just nothing. This is, I'll put it in C for now. Because it could be so much more. Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo is one of the other ones I didn't play for that long. But I did play with a friend for a little bit of it. And the rest was like by myself. It's fun. Like, this is the thing that I was worried about putting this specific game in this, is like, it's so set in stone what everyone thinks of the game. There's no point in even talking about it. You understand? Like, you wouldn't really make a tier list of classic movies, because like, what else is there to say that hasn't been said? And that's kind of the same with Donkey Kong Country. It's a fun game. I didn't play much of it. I'm not going to change anyone's opinion on it. I don't have the best thoughts myself. Fun game. Cool. I'll put it in B. I don't know. I don't care. Like, next game is PUBG. This is the year that I played PUBG. I've never played it before. I watched it grow because I knew when it came out. I watched it grow. I didn't play it. And then I watched it fucking crash and just no one liked it anymore. And I was like, that's funny. I'm not going to play it still. And then I played it this year because my friends were like, hey, let's play PUBG. I was like, fucking fine. I think it was free. I think they made it free to play. So I played an hour or two of it. I launched the game. What I didn't know about the game is you have to, I think it was like play 10 matches in a bot lobby before you can actually play with friends. And I think I played 4 games before I realized I can't sit through this anymore. I'm sure like when it came out, because it was revolutionary and being like one of the first popular Battle Royale games. But now that there's everything else, like Fortnite, Apex Legends, Warzone, all this stuff, PUBG just feels very basic now. Like, it doesn't really do that much new. So when you play it for the first time in 2022 and all you see is a slow, glitchy game, like, what's the point? You know, what's the point? That's what I think. PUBG is, like, terrible. I think it's terrible. I didn't even get the chance to play with my friends because they just wouldn't let you until you play 10 matches. You play 3 matches and you're like, I've seen enough. I don't need to win in this game to know everything about it. This is D tier. Next up is Deep Rock Galactic. You might not know what this game is. I don't think it was a very popular game. It was one of the other ones that my friends were like, hey, let's play this game. It looks fun. So we played it. I played a surprising amount of it. And you know what? It was very fun. It's such a weird game that I haven't played for months. I dropped off of it and I don't think I'll play it again unless one day we're just like, let's play Deep Rock Galactic or something like that. But of what I played of it, it's such a fun, like, 4-player game where you just collect minerals and shit and then you just escape. Not the best description of what it is, but you just kind of do missions together in this whole cave and you dig out the whole cave and you just find minerals, you find bosses to beat. And then you leave when you, like, complete the mission. It's pretty, like, standard what you say. But what's fun about it is the, like, design of the creatures and just design of the whole place. Like, it's a nice low poly kind of environment. And it's kind of hard to describe, but it's just a fun game to play with people, play with friends. If you play by yourself, I can't imagine it to be that fun. But with friends, it's pretty fun. So I'll put it in B tier, you know? Just a fun game to play. VTuber win. Shut up, bro. Okay, next up is Dying Light 2. I almost want to put it in haven't played enough because I didn't really play that much of it. But then I realized, oh, I played all I need to play. Dying Light 2 is like this zombie hardcore survival fucking parkour game that was made by the same people as Dead Island, I think. Dead Island is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I just love the environments. I love the combat, kind of. I love the environments most. It's a game that I grew up with and it's just so memorable to me. Dying Light came out. I never played it. Dying Light 2 was coming out. And then I was like, I should probably play that. I played Dying Light 1 the year beforehand. A little bit of it. I thought it was okay. Then I played Dying Light 2. I played a little bit of it and I was like, this is not okay. It's just boring. I played like not a lot, 4 or 5 hours. But that's all I needed. You play that and you're like, okay. This is the same as Dying Light 1, which, as far as I know, was a well-received game, but nothing really stood out like Dead Island did at least. So why play it? Why play it? That's it. Dying Light 2 is C. It's below Pokemon as well, because I would rather, if someone gave me 2 games and they were like Pokemon Legend Arceus or Dying Light 2, I would play neither. But if I had to, I would play Pokemon. So that's it. Next game. Now this is what I'm all about. Fire Emblem Awakening. You know what this game is? This is S tier, dude. This is one of the best Fire Emblem games. Do you know what Fire Emblem is? No, you fucking don't. No one played Fire Emblem. At least not until Three Houses came out on the Switch. And that's the first Fire Emblem game I played. But then I went back and played Fire Emblem Awakening for the 3DS. And it was amazing. I played through all of it. It was such a long game. But I played it day in and day out. I got so addicted to this game. Gameplay-wise is one of the better ones. I think Three Houses is just a bit above it. The characters were, like, they're good. Nothing too groundbreaking, but I liked Chrom, I liked Lucina. It's sad that that's all I can remember from this game that I played not even, like, a year ago. Like, I played it back in April, May, something like that, but I don't remember much of the characters, but it was great. Like, it's such a good story as well that goes by very fluently and just very, like, naturally. Fire Emblem Awakening, if it was 5 hours too long, or 5 hours longer or 5 hours shorter, it would change what I think, but it's such a perfect time amount to play. I don't know about Fire Emblem much, but I know that, like, the series wasn't doing too well. Awakening was meant to be their final game, but it came out, everyone loved it, and they were like, okay, let's make Three Houses then. And then Three Houses sold amazingly. And now it's like a staple again. Like, they're coming out with Fire Emblem Engage or Mirage. I keep on forgetting the name, but I'm going to play that. It comes out next month. Okay. Resident Evil 5. Haven't played enough. I played for like an hour. I've played 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, I played 5 this year. I've skipped 6. I hear 6 is not that good. And then I played 7, which 7 is coming up next. So Resident Evil 5, I played like an hour. I thought it was fun, but just the controls don't work too well for me because they kind of play most similar to Resident Evil 4. And where I loved Resident Evil 4 because you can kind of understand why it plays like that. Like, one, it was for the GameCube, but 2, it was trying to replicate like an arcade game somewhat, like in its presentation. It's a bit weird. I'm not the best to talk about this, but it's well made and very intentional, the gameplay designs. Resident Evil 5 is fucking annoying with that, because it's kind of just the same controls, but it doesn't have the same feel as 4. It's not as scary, it's not as memorable. It just feels limited, and like they just kind of did it to grab that nostalgia that 4 had, but it fell apart because with 5, you're just thinking, why can't I just play this like a normal shooter? Which sound like I want it to play just more generic and basic, but that would work better in this context because it's an action game. Isn't 5 like one of the more action-heavy games? But you still play with the tank controls of Resident Evil 4? Like, it's kind of, you know? But again, I haven't played enough. Maybe it gets a lot better. Maybe it gets a lot worse. I don't know. I only played like an hour. Resident Evil 7. I played for the first time in 2022. But I've already watched a full playthrough of it, so I knew exactly what happens in the story. What I'm going to say is, I didn't beat the game, but I watched someone beat the game. And what I can say is that it's an amazingly made game. That's great horror aspects, great gameplay mechanics. It's one of the more fun Resident Evil games to play, and it's also fucking terrifying. I purposefully only used headphones to make it feel more scary or whatever, so I could actually hear everything. And I pushed it out. I pushed it out of the game. The reason why I stopped playing was because I ran out of ammo, and there was like, I was kind of soft locked because I was spawning right next to enemies that would kill me, and then I'd respawn, and they would just kill me over and over again. And I definitely could have gotten out of it, but I just couldn't be bothered because I've already seen someone beat the game. Resident Evil 7 is an amazing game that I would love to finish if I could be bothered, but I wasn't bothered. A tier. That's all I've got. Now we're up to Elden Ring. This is what I have to say about Elden Ring. I haven't played enough. I'm sorry. I haven't played enough of this game. That one is probably my most controversial take that I have about all of these games. It's just that I didn't play Elden Ring. I got into the hype of seeing that like 9 million copies were sold in its first 2 weeks or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll play Elden Ring. I've known about the game coming out. I know about the Souls games. I never played any of the From Software games before. This was my first one, and then I played it for like an hour, and I was like, I need to properly sit down and play this, and I just don't want to do that right now. So I stopped playing, and then 7 months later, haven't played it still. Listen, I'm glad it won Game of the Year. I'm sure if I played it, I would love it. I just didn't have the patience to play it at that time, and I'll probably play it again sometime. I don't know when though. Anyway, Ghostwire Tokyo is an amazing game that no one else liked. Ghostwire Tokyo came out, and I bought it day one. The first ever reveal of it was in an E3 2019 or 2018, and I was really interested in it because it was that CGI trailer of just like everyone disappearing for some reason. I was like, hey, that sounds nice. And then like a year went by, 2 years went by, nothing was being said, and then E3 happened again, and they showed like another gameplay trailer. I saw the gameplay trailer and I was like, okay, I don't want to play this anymore. This kind of looks dumb. And then the next trailer came out and I was like, this looks dumb still. I'll buy it though. And then I bought it day one and I have it over here. And I played through it, and then I beat it, and then I got all the trophies in the game. I 100%ed this game. Listen, what makes this game is the environment that it's in and the whole concept of it. You're just a guy, and then you get into a motorbike accident and you get possessed by this guy who is a spirit or something. Everyone in Tokyo disappears, and it's just so cool. No one's there, but the environment is still modern. Like, it's literally just everyone just got raptured and you're the only person left, and it's so cool to explore Tokyo and to fight these enemies in a weird way, because you get like these mystical powers where you can shoot like wind or like fire or like the elements and stuff like that. It's nothing too memorable, but it was just a fun game to sit through and play. I had next to no problems with it. It ran very well. It played very well. The setting was one of the best in this year. No one else is going to agree with me, but Ghostwire Tokyo is an S. I'm going to say it. Fuck. That's controversial. No one liked Ghostwire Tokyo. Do you know how much Ghostwire Tokyo is selling for now because no one bought it? I saw it on sale for like $18 one day. No one bought this game, and it sucks because it's an amazing game. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's just the right amount of good environment, good gameplay, good story, good characters to just enjoy and sit through. It's not a long game, so just get through it. Just buy the game, get through it. You can buy it for like $9. Like, just buy it and get through it. It's such a fun game. Please, play this game. I want there to be another one. I hope they do, like, Ghostwire... Okay, Ghostwire, like, Sydney, or Ghostwire, like, fucking France. I don't know what they're gonna do. Probably not those two locations. Probably something better than what I just thought. But I hope they do that again, like Ghostwire in a different location. Maybe Japan again, like somewhere else in Japan. But it's just so fun. So play it. Next up is Neo, The World Ends With You. This game is an S as well. I would say I'd put it above Ghostwire though. Neo, The World Ends With You is an amazing game as well that I knew was coming out because rabid Persona 5 fans were being like, oh, this game is just ripping off Persona 5, not realizing that the first game came out before even like Persona 5 was conceived. This is a sequel to a game that came out on the DS. I have the DS game over there. I've got Neo here, and I've got the first game's re-release on the Switch down here as well, which I will get to because I played that as well. The game has got an amazing story about like you just suddenly just, it's kind of the same, like you get entered into this different world and you have to compete in these games. The story unfolds in such a nice way, and the characters are really out there but believable in a sense. But what makes it most is probably its whole character of being Persona 5. No, I'm fucking kidding. It's its own thing. It's such a unique style that I don't know how to properly describe other than just saying like early 2000s with its use of music and its whole environment. It takes place in Shibuya, but it's a unique version of Shibuya that no one else has really seen. Its gameplay is really unique and interesting. It's just a fun game, you know? Like, I can't really explain it in a great way because I played it and I beat it and I didn't go back to do the trophies, but I just had my fun with it and I don't remember much. I did like binge playing of like just playing throughout the whole day for like a week. So it just kind of washed over me. But I can say the washing over was one of the best ones I've ever seen. Neo: The World Ends With You is an amazing game that you probably can't get physically for such a good price because it didn't really sell that well. And the most funny part was that when the game released on PC, it released I think like around the same time as Persona 5 Royale released. So it just killed it instantly because everyone was like, I'll just play Persona 5, not Neo. Never fucking heard of The World Ends With You. What the hell is this? So I hope this game series continues. Probably won't though, because there was next to no marketing for this game, and the game released at the same time as Persona 5 Royale. At least the PC release of this game. Next game is Space Hulk Deathwing. I forgot I played this game. Apparently it's like a game set in the Warhammer universe, and I've never played a Warhammer game. This was another time my friend was like, let's play this game, it's like $6. It's like, okay, but I played it and I don't like it. I can't remember like anything about the game, just that you fight aliens in a mech suit and you just go through a level and that's it. Like, I can't say anything else. Deathwing is D, I'd say. I'm not playing it again. And now what it is we're entering the arc of when I bought the VR headset, and all I did was play VR games for a couple months. So the first one I played was Super Hot VR, which Super Hot came out on the PC, and it's just like time only moves when you move and you have to kill enemies. That's the whole premise, and it's just such a great game, especially in VR. Very fun. All I can say, nothing that I'm saying right now hasn't been said before. One of the most fun VR games. Yeah, I'll put it below Resident Evil 7. It's a fun game. Ends very quickly, but that's all you really need. But I constantly went back to it whenever I wanted to play a VR game. I was like, alright, I'll load up like a quick match of Super Hot, and I'll throw knives. I just happened to play Super Mario 3D World, plus Bowser's Fury on the Switch. Haven't played enough. I barely played it. I just played it with like a friend for half an hour, and then we moved on to something else. Very fun game. I know all about it. I was there when it released. I didn't play it when it released, but I just happened to have it, and we were like, well, let's just play this. And then we played like a couple levels, and we were like, it's fun. I will have more to say when I play the game. And when I play the game, it's probably never, because I just don't want to. But I don't know. Maybe someday, but, you know. I hear it's an amazing game. Good for that. Next up is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Another VR game. This one, not as fun, though. I love the thought of a VR game set in the Walking Dead universe, because I grew up watching The Walking Dead, and I liked it until I didn't like it. But it's such a good premise of a VR game. And then it kind of doesn't really deliver, because it's just go loot, and there's like 3 zombies in the entire map. It's like, cool. I just stopped playing when like the actual people started showing up. They can just aim at you very easily, and I don't know if it's just me, but I can't fucking aim in VR. It's so hard to do it. I might not have the VR helmet set up correctly or something, but you just can't control where you shoot. So having people just be laser focused on you all the time, and you have to like get to cover, mean aim, yeah. Like, I play Apex Legends, like, you think I have good aim? The fuck? It's a good game. I'm not gonna play it anymore, but kind of doesn't deliver with the lack of zombies. I want to put it in B tier, but I don't want to put it above Pokemon. I'm gonna put it here, because despite everything, it is still a better zombie game than Dying Light 2. Okay, Blade and Sorcery is another VR game. You're just in a medieval sandbox and you can just play it. You just kill people. That's it. That's all you need too, because it's so fun. But what I do is I just turn on the invincibility cheat, because I like constantly die in the game. The biggest drawback for this is that it doesn't feel that good killing people. Okay. Some psychopathic shit to kind of say, but it doesn't feel nice. It just feels like you're hitting ragdolls. None of the force gets properly placed when you like swing an axe or swing a sword. Or the most fun that I had was just running at people with the little daggers and just trying to do the fucking like That's all I have I'll say this. I'll say it's better than Deep Rock, but Donkey Kong Country is pretty fun. Gun Raiders, another VR title. That is just multiplayer. It's like Call of Duty in VR, essentially, but a lot more fucking weird. And then play it for like half an hour, and you get the gist of this game. That's it. It's just multiplayer, which could have been a lot more fun, considering you can fly in the game and you can like choose your weapons and just shoot people. But it just doesn't bring you back into it. It's just kind of whatever, you know. I'll put it in D. It's above PUBG because at least I had fun in this game. Next up is Thrill of the Fight, VR boxing game. This one is the best VR game ever. Not only is it so fun, but it's just so strategic. What kind of... Okay, so strategy is not really a part of this game. The only thing to do in this is what you do is you hit him with a chest blow and then head blow, and then you back away, and you do that over and over again until they get knocked out. That's what I kind of did until the final boss. I had to actually pull out all the stops. I actually like fully went into it, and like it's so fucking fun. Oh my god, Thrill of the Fight is the best VR game I've played so far. I will put it above Ghostwire. Actually, yeah, because it's a very fun game and it's a very fun workout, I'll say. I can play it for like 10 minutes and then I get really exhausted and I can't play it again. Next up is 11 Table Tennis. VR table tennis, you know, pretty fun. You verse real people, but they know what the fuck they're doing. I got my ass handed to me so many times playing this game. So I barely played it because I kept on losing. I didn't want to verse the bots because that's kind of whatever. So I versed real people and then I lost, and that was kind of sad. I'm going to put it in, what would I put it in? I'm saying it, table tennis is better than Pokemon. Yeah, we're at that point. Next up is Rainbow Six Siege. I played it for the first time this year. This game is fucking annoying. This game is so competitive and it's just not for me. Playing it by yourself, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I play with friends and you can at least have fun in the game with friends. But the enemy team is always so competitive. And the game itself is just very strategic and slow paced. That's not me. I'm a big fan of throwing knives in COD. Just wacky bullshit like that. Rainbow Six Siege is way too tactical for me. I just don't want to invest my time into getting good at this game. Because it's just a fucking... like, just leave me alone with how competitive it is. I don't like this game. Yeah, there. I'm going to put it there. It's above PUBG, but Gun Raiders is more fun because it is actually fun to play. It's not like fucking you have to think with all your brain power just to figure out how to plant a fucking bomb in Rainbow Six Siege. With Gun Raiders, you're like, yeah, I'll just like shoot some. I'll like fly 30 feet in the air and just land on someone and shoot them in the head. It's just weird. Now the final VR game, I think it is. Yeah, the final VR game is Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's VR is very fun and very fucking terrifying. It is by far the scariest experience I've ever had in playing just a game. I only got through the first game because they just like remade the first 3 games in VR, I think, and then there's like bonus stuff you can do and a bunch of story stuff that's involved. I watched the game theory videos on this game and that's all I need to know, okay? I like watching the story unfold in those videos. I just played it because I was like, this will be funny and be pretty scary. And then I played the first night and I thought I was gonna fucking die, like in real life. It's so scary. What I managed to do though, astoundingly, is I beat all 5 nights in the first game without dying once. So that was, you know, pretty cool. But then I launched up the second game and I shut it off immediately. Because I loaded it up and I remembered, oh, there's no doors, so you can't protect yourself. All you have is a mask next to you to put on when people get too close. I didn't even finish the first line. I actually force quit the game. I was so fucking terrified. I pussied out. I'm not playing it again. I'll probably play it again when I have the stomach to do it. I'll put it above Donkey Kong. I don't care. I'll say it's a more fun experience than Donkey Kong, just because you might actually die playing it. Next up is Tribes of Midgard. I've made this joke already, but more like Tribes of Mid, because this game is fucking whatever. If you don't know what it is, neither do I. You just kind of do your own thing until you don't. The best thing about this game is the art style, because that's pretty fun. That's pretty cool. But other than that, it's just whatever. It's just another top-down fucking do your own thing with friends. And even when you're in like a friend lobby, you never see them unless you purposefully go with them and just stick by their side. It's just whatever. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Okay, next up is Nintendo Switch Sports. I played a little bit of it, and that's all you need to play. If you can have fun in the game, you can have fun in the game. But I don't like that Wii Sports came out with 5 games. Wii Sports Resort came out with 16. And most of those were pretty fun. Nintendo Switch Sports released with 6. Got rid of the Mii's and released these like generic looking fucking guys. And 3 of the 6 sports are just the same. They're like tennis, badminton, and volleyball. It's pretty much the same. Then there's like soccer, which I don't think I actually played. The sword game that I liked. And then there was one other one that I don't remember. Bowling. Was it? Bowling. And bowling was fucking whatever. And have they even released the golf update yet? I don't even know. And I don't actually care enough to even check. Because this game was just whatever. They added in online too to Nintendo Switch Sports, but online isn't what makes it fun. Multiplayer with your friends in the same room makes it fun. When you're playing online, it's just like you might as well be playing a computer because you don't see who you're versing. And the games are so limited and just hit the ball back or bowl the ball. Like, what's the point? I'm gonna put it below Dying Light 2. Okay, The World Ends With You Final Remix. The first game that released in The World Ends With You saga. The first of 2. This is the re-release on the Switch. Here's where I kind of come to a standpoint. Do I rate this game based on how it came out, like the original release of the story and everything? Or do I rate it based on the re-release of it being on the Switch? Because I didn't get very far in this game because the controls were too shitty for me to bother with. The game released on the Nintendo DS, and it's basically the same story as Neo, in that you're just transported to this different world and you play games and you try to just beat it at the end. But when it released on the DS, the fighting was based heavily around the stylus, like the touch controls, because you can control your character with just the touch on the screen. When they re-released it for the Switch, they just were like, okay, you can just do touch controls on the Switch's gamepad, or if you want to play it in docked mode, you can use the Joy-Cons, but it just doesn't feel that good playing it on the Switch. That's actually why I bought the original DS copy of The World Ends With You, because I want to experience this game. I hear it's an amazing game from like a story perspective and like gameplay and art style and all this, and like I fully believe that because I played Neo and I loved Neo. You play the Switch version and you're like, this just doesn't feel natural to play. This just feels like they wanted to put this on to try and get some semblance of a hype boost for the new Neo game coming out, or just to test the waters if it would even do well enough to launch the sequel. But you release this game on a Switch and it's just like, you can't play it right. This game works best on the original console, which sucks because it's on the fucking DS. It's not released on like any DS shop, like DS online shop, because that didn't exist back then. And you can play it on the 3DS if you've got the cart, but you need to have the cart, and that's quite expensive. So releasing this on the Switch, I can fully understand why. It's such a great game. I know it is, but playing it on the Switch doesn't work. I don't know what they can do. It sucks. It sucks because I want people to play this game. I want me to play this game because I'm fully aware of how great it is. But unless if you play it on the DS, you're really missing out. Putting this in B tier, right down the middle of, I'm fully aware of how great this game can be, but for the love of God, don't play this on the Switch. I feel like that works. Jedi Fallen Order, a game that I wanted to play for the longest time, but I just never really bothered to. And then out of nowhere, they released a PS5 version of the game. I'll buy that for $30 and I'll just play that. I feel like I'm a broken record saying this, but let me say it. I played this for a couple hours. I can tell how great this game is, but I didn't want to play anymore at the time. So I just played it, and I'm sure it's a great game. I know it's a great game, but I just couldn't be bothered playing that much. Now, a game I have played enough is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. This game is great, and I really got addicted to playing it. Just one story alone is worth like 50, 60 hours of playtime. And there's 3 different routes you can take, and I played all 3 of them. I put like 100+ hours into this game. and I can tell you it's one of the best Switch games on there. What are you fucking talking about? Play Fire Emblem Saga. Fire Emblem 3 Hopes is a great game in storytelling, in gameplay. The gameplay is one of the best for a like warrior style game of Koei Tecmo. They make like the Warriors games and Persona 5 Strikers and Attack on Titan 2. They made this as well. It's one of the better ones that they made. I can say it's an amazing game, but there's two things that piss me off about this game. The first one is how they were just like, oh yeah, it's just a different timeline. That kind of annoyed me. I kind of wanted a full sequel to Fire Emblem 3 Houses, because I loved 3 Houses. That was one of my favorite that's my favorite game on the Switch in general, I think. That's my favorite like Nintendo game on the Switch. I wanted to see an actual sequel to that game, but all it was kind of just this is just a different thing. It's just a different timeline. It's still fun. It's still great. It's still a great story. Like, you get used to it. But in the first couple hours, I was like, oh man, we're playing this different character. We're going to see, like, a different side to Violet's whole destruction and who he is as a person, who they are as a person. But then you play it and you get to, like, you actually enroll in the Garreg Mach. And you're like, I don't remember this happening in 3 Houses. How are they going to make this, work? And then it's kind of just revealed they didn't. Just a different storyline. That's it. Again, it's frustrating, but you get used to it very quickly. And it's still an amazing story once you get used to it. Second thing that pissed me off is, dear God, they need to fucking make a better version of a Switch. The Switch cannot run this game. It looks surprisingly well for what it can be. Because the Switch can make something look gorgeous, but this game, like, with how big it is, I'm surprised they make it look like anything. Play it in handheld. They had to downgrade the resolution so bad. You can barely read the text. You can't see what's happening on screen. When it's in docked mode, the frame rate fucking sucks. Maybe they've fixed it, but I played it day one. The frame rate takes a dip a lot of the times. And, like, it's just fucking hell. If this game released on, like, PC or PlayStation, that would be great. It's never gonna happen because it's a Nintendo thing, and Nintendo never fucking does it. So, dear God, please. They've only got like 2 more years left in the Switch's life cycle, but just release like a better Switch so we can play these games and not have to just watch a slideshow for 70 plus hours. But that's it. That's the only problems I have with this game. Everything else is immaculate, okay? The story is great when you get over it. The characters, they're just as you remember in 3 Houses, but they express some new things because it's a new timeline, but pretty much everything, all of the like character development, character attributes from Houses are in this. Like the backstory is all in 3 Houses and it's in 3 Hopes, and it explains itself in a new way, and it's kind of refreshing to see that on like a different side if like a different character is in that. Especially Shez, the main character. I like that he is actually someone. Like Byleth was like cool, but nothing. Byleth's just main character. Like, just pretend you're him. Shez is an actual person. Like, the gameplay is some of the best. I love how you swap between the characters and you just it's a full, like, tactical game. It's one of the most tactical games I've ever played because it's got that Fire Emblem, like, staple of grid-based structure. You control all your units in battle. Try not to make them die, because if they die, they're out of it. Unless you turn that feature off now, which I turned it off. I don't want to bother with that. But it's so tactical, but once you get into it, once you start the battle, once you start the battle, make everyone do their own thing, and then you just play as someone, and you just mow down hundreds of enemies. It's so damn fun to play. Fire Emblem 3 Hopes is gonna go up here. I'll say it's better than Neo, yeah. Fire Emblem Awakening is only just a little bit better than it. Just because it's its own original thing, and it's like, what's the word? It's like its saving grace of the whole franchise. They had one final attempt before either like themselves or Nintendo cut the franchise, and they made Awakening, and it fully brought it back, and now it's better than ever. So Awakening is just a little bit better than 3 Hopes because it's its own original creation. Enough about sucking dick of Fire Emblem. Let's talk about Roller Champions. This game is fucking whatever. If you don't know what it is you just play. You just in roller skates, you go around in a circle and you try to score. You just play basketball. You can have fun in it with friends, and it's kind of funny to just absolutely decimate the opponents. Because, listen, me and my friends, we're pretty good at the game. And it's pretty fun to just trip over the enemy team. But other than that, I'm not going to play it again. I'll put it here. It's better than Walking Dead. Now, next up is Multiverses. I played so much Multiverses. I loved it so much. Me and my friends all played it. I bought the Founders Pack of this game because I loved it. I played hundreds of hours of it. I am very good at Multiverses when I'm not streaming it. When I'm streaming it, I'm not that good. But when I'm playing it by myself, I am very good and I have so much fun. But I haven't played it in months. And that is because this game is not supported in the best way. Because there's just not enough to keep you in it. When the game first released, it was so fun for 2 weeks. You could play as all these Warner Brothers characters. And each character felt just a bit unique. Like, you could just have the right amount of fun with every single character. I personally played Batman a lot. I played as Superman quite a bit. God, I played as someone else, but I don't remember. I played as Ligma? Who's Ligma? But once you play so much of it in the beginning, the cracks start to form, you know? There was like 6 or 7 maps when the game released, and they're all just flat stages with like 1 or 2 platforms in there. Like, sure, it's good for competitive play, but there isn't really a competitive scene. At least the game doesn't think so, because the game's been out for months, and they still haven't added in the ranked system that they said they were doing. But they just haven't released ranked yet, which is just annoying, and that's what I'm talking about. The game is great, but it's just not supported. Because over time, they added new characters. Like, I think they've added 4 or 5 since the game came out. And that's cool, but they released like maybe 1 or 2 maps, and they have like only 3 or 4 items in the entire game that you can use during the games. You play against people, and that's fun, but to a certain extent, you can play it for so long, and then you're just playing the same game over and over again. Playing with friends is what saves it, because you can play 2v2s with your friends. I did that a lot, and that was always the most fun I had, because I sound like a fucking dickhead saying it, but I was one of the like really good players in Multiverses. I was strangely really good at the game, and me and my friends were as well, and we just had a lot of fun kicking everyone's asses. Playing it with like 4 people in a lobby, that was also pretty fun, but you can't do a free-for-all in a standard way. You have to play like what's it called? You have to play with a time limit, and you just have to get the most knockouts. You can't just play stock like in Smash Brothers. The only way to play stock is to do 2v2s in your lobbies with your friends, and that's fine, but where's the free-for-all stock? Why can't you do that? Yet another example of this game not being supported enough. It had the best potential to have all these characters from Warner Brothers IP. The combat is fun, and the combos you can make is so good. The game is pretty balanced. You know, there's a couple of characters that fucking dominated people for a while there, but for the most part, the game was well balanced. You could play and not have it feel that unfair. But after 2 months, we just stopped playing because nothing brought us back. There were no new maps, no new modes that we liked. It was just 2v2s over and over again. So Multiverses gets an A. I'm going to put it above Super Hot. Okay, next is Sonic Origins. I feel like I'm not the right person to talk about Sonic Origins because I played it for maybe an hour. I played the very first Sonic game and then a tiny bit of 3 and Knuckles, and I didn't really come back to it. There's a lot more people who have a lot more to say than me about this game. All that I can say is I had my fun with it. It's very fun if you don't care about all the stupid fucking, oh, they used a new engine and, oh, it's not the exact same game. It's like, I don't care too much, man. I play Sonic and I'm having fun because I go fast. I don't care enough that they changed the engine and that they added new glitches that weren't in the original game. I never saw those glitches. All I saw was a fun time that I probably could have played more of, but I just didn't want to. Fun game. Who gives a shit? If you want to know more, watch someone who cares enough, you know? I like Sonic franchise, but I just, like, you know, it's fun. It's fine. I don't give a shit, really. Right here in B tier. Halo, the Master Chief Collection, specifically Halo Reach. I'm putting haven't played enough. Because I only played it for like half an hour. I played it because I got the Xbox Series X and I wasn't doing anything with it. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just play fucking Halo. I'll play Halo Reach. That's the first one, right? The first one chronologically. Then I played the first level and I was like, this is good. Don't really want to play it though. So that's it. I'm sorry. I should have played more of it, but I just didn't want to. So, haven't played enough. Next up is Soul Hackers 2. I was excited for this game because it's made by Atlus. And Atlus makes the Persona series. You know about the Persona games? So Soul Hackers 2 was coming out. I was pretty excited. I never played the first one. I kind of wanted to play the first one, but I just never did. I bought Soul Hackers 2 day one. I played like 10 hours of the game. What I can say is it's a game. You can play it. It is an RPG game. But there's nothing else to say. It's just an RPG game. You can play it. You can see the story. You can see the characters. And you're like, yep, they exist. The load times were insane. Like, this really felt like a PS5 game. Like, apparently people had problems with the load times on this game. Did you play the PS5 version? There were no, like, next to no loading screens. And if there were, they lasted for like a second. That blew me away, because it just feels like nothing. Like, you just walk around in empty space, and then you just randomly fight a fucking creature for like 2 turns, and you beat it, and then you just keep on walking. That's it. I thought I had more to say, because I really like Atlus games, specifically Persona. I know this isn't made by the same people who made those games, but I just kind of expected more, because of how much they were advertising this. But you play it, and you're like, this is perfectly mediocre. So I'm going to put it at the top of C tier. Right there. I'll say it goes there. I feel like I'm just playing it because it's an Atlus game. And listen, Atlus is not like a fucking all-knowing deity. Then they don't know how to make good games 24/7. Sometimes they release something called Soul Hackers 2, and then you just kind of move on with your life, you know? And then you go and play Monopoly Plus, motherfuckers. I'm putting this best game of all time. I play Monopoly Plus with my friends, because it was like $20, and we were like, let's play Monopoly. What I didn't know is we had the biggest fights playing Monopoly Plus. I was such a devious little fucking dealer man, trying to make deals happen, and then I make them happen, and it would just fall back on me, because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Listen, it's Monopoly. You know what Monopoly is. Playing it with your friends online, when you have like 5 or 6 playing in the same lobby, it's so fucking funny. I'm rating it in B category nonetheless, because it's just fun to play with your friends. And that's the same with Uno. Like, what do you want me to say about Uno? It's Uno. You play it with your friends and you have fun, and that's it. I'm going to put it below Monopoly, because with Monopoly you can have more players and the game lasts for longer, and when you play for a long time, you start to get really fucking weird. You just make weird decisions and all this stuff. And then Wheel of Fortune is fucking right here. Didn't have the same reaction I did to Monopoly and Uno as I did to Wheel of Fortune, because I barely played it, but I do like Wheel of Fortune nonetheless. But we just didn't really play it for that long, because we just kind of got bored. Now, this game, I am honestly cheating, because I have played My Sims Kingdom before, like 10 years ago. I had it for the Wii, and I grew up playing it. I got tired of playing Soul Hackers 2, so I was like, I'll play My Sims Kingdom. That's literally what happened. I was playing Soul Hackers 2, and then I just had this weird nostalgia wave of like, oh, I want to play games from my childhood, but I have a bunch of GameCube games, but I can't really play them. I don't have a controller or the GameCube, but I do have a Wii, and you know, don't really want to play Super Mario Galaxy 2 right now, but My Sims Kingdom is there. I remember loving it. I played a bit of My Sims Kingdom, and then I played a bit more, and then I beat the game. But what do you want me to say? Is that My Sims Kingdom is so fun. It should not be this relaxing and fun of a time than it is, because it's a kid's game. It's an offshoot of The Sims. Entirely nostalgia talking. I'm fully aware, like, if I never played this before, and I play this for the first time now, I would probably just be like, oh, this is pretty cute, and then not finish it. But because I played it as a kid, and I loved it as a kid, and then I played this again, and it was just such a nice, warm, relaxing time. It's just a great game to play. You just go to different islands and help out these little sim guys, and you build things. That's it. My Sims Kingdom is going it's going above multiverses. It's going above multiverses, because You can have so much fun in this game, but you can also just sit back and listen to the nice little shanties, the nice little music in this game, and you can just have fun with the characters, and you can build these little houses for your little Sims, and you can build like parks, and you can put down all these decorations, and you can just have the best time, you know? You probably don't know. You probably haven't played this game. Play this game and have the mindset of I'm an 8-year-old kid who will like anything I will play, and you will enjoy this game. Next up is Far Cry 3. Haven't played enough. I didn't play next to anything. I didn't like it. The environments look so vibrant and it's cool, but I just don't care too much. And then I grabbed some flowers and I shot some men, and I was like, this is all for me. Splatoon 3, I didn't play it. I played like 20 minutes and I didn't like it. Not for me, man. I played like one match and I got my ass handed to me, and I was like, I'm just gonna play Call of Duty. Which brings me to Call of Duty. I am weirdly good at this game, only with knives, which is good because I only play this game with knives and throwing knives and the riot shield on my back. I'm one of those people. I use a knife and a riot shield on the back, but I'm good at this game with that. I play with guns and like I'm fine, but then I just like get like a triple kill with throwing knives and stabbing people, and I don't know what's wrong with me in this game, but I just enjoy doing that, and I enjoy this game overall. There are things that really annoy me about this game, and one is the shoot to kill. I forget what it's called, but you just die so much quicker in this game. When you're using knives, you kind of don't want to get shot at as much and die as quickly because you can't really fight back against a gun with only a knife. You can try, and sometimes it succeeds, but most of the time, you just die by 2 bullets, and you're like, well, I don't even know where that guy was. So that's kind of frustrating. The thing that annoys me the most about this game is the new Warzone. Warzone 2.0. Fuck, this game does not run good. Not only does the Warzone have constant glitches and just not work, but my computer can't handle Modern Warfare 2. It handles other games fine. Modern Warfare 1 runs pretty well on my computer, but this game just doesn't want to. I have everything set to the lowest settings it can, and even still, sometimes it stutters for a bit here and there. Those are the biggest issues. I didn't play the campaign. I don't care about Call of Duty campaigns. I'm sure it was fine. I don't like the Warzone. You can have fun with your friends, but when the game barely runs and always glitches out, and then you suddenly get sniped by some motherfucker you didn't even see who's just 70 meters away, kind of takes you out of it. Kind of makes you not want to play Warzone that much. I would say this is the multiplayer, because multiplayer is pretty fun, especially with knives, because I'm a little freak with it. And it's just pretty funny to hear the people's reactions in that. So yeah, basically, I'm saying that it is above Sonic and above Donkey Kong. Now, here we go. Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. What do you want me to say? That hasn't already been said. I only played San Andreas because I grew up with San Andreas. I didn't grow up with Grand Theft Auto 3 or Vice City. I played San Andreas a lot on the PS2, and I was playing it, and all I was thinking was, why am I not playing GTA 5? Because GTA 5 plays so much better. I'm not even talking about the state of how the remakes are and how shitty it looks and how shitty it runs. For me, it ran okay, but the game is just outdated as a whole. Like, even with the revamped shooting, which I didn't notice at all, I didn't notice that it changed, it still sucked, I hated it. I hate how everyone got in a bitch fit about how this game runs and all these glitches in the game, when I was like, aren't some, if not most of those glitches you're talking about were in the original version as well? They still should have patched them out, but you're getting angry about something that was already in the game before. But that's enough defending this game. I hated it. I hated it. I finished San Andreas. I don't know why, but I fully went through it. But I didn't really like my time with it. I just kind of stuck with it because I grew up with it, and I was like, maybe it'll get better once more I play it. It didn't. For me, it ran fine, except it crashed like 3 or 4 times. One time it crashed when I was doing the big heist mission with Woozy. I think that was his name. And that pissed me off because I got pretty far in it. For most of the game, I didn't turn on cheats, and then near the end of the game, I just turned them on. I just wanted to finish the game because I got so far. I was like, just finish with this, and then you're done. So I just turned on the cheats, and I beat the game, and then I uninstalled it. The game's re-release was not that good, but the games as a whole in the beginning, I feel, weren't that good anyways. I'm putting it in D tier. Okay, let's cleanse the palate of talking about games that pissed me off. Let's talk about one of the greatest games ever made, Psychonauts. I had the Xbox and I wasn't using it, so I looked through Xbox Game Pass and it was there. So I played it on the Xbox and it is an amazing game. It is so good, and it was an original Xbox game. It's so old, but you play it and you're like, this is how games are now. Like, this is just really innovative for the time. One, the story is like immaculate. It's such a fun and interesting story of you going to this new camp and you just go through the locations and you just play the game as it plays out. The gameplay is next to nothing. It is great. The little abilities you can do and like what you can do with it, like you can float on a ball and go to places you never thought you could go. The gameplay mechanics of having different abilities that you equip, one of the better designed games I've ever played. But then, best part about this is the characters and the whole art style, aesthetic, environment, all of it in this game. So unique in how it looks and how it feels and how it plays. I loved it as soon as I started playing it. I was like, oh, this is what everyone's talking about. I don't think it was really that popular at the time, but then as Psychonauts 2 was getting announced and showing trailers, everyone was talking about how great the first one is. And I was fully aware, everyone was talking about it, and I was like, it's probably a great game. I'll play it sometime. I'll buy it on Steam and PS4, but I won't play it. Then I'll get Game Pass, play it on the Xbox. This is what everyone's talking about. For the love of God, play Psychonauts 1 as soon as you can, because it's one of the most unique, most fun, and most memorable games I've ever played. Right now, I'm putting it in between Fire Emblems, because it looks a bit biased having two Fire Emblem games right next to each other as first and second place, so I'm going to put it in between those two. Now, I loved Psychonauts 1 so much. What did I think of Psychonauts 2? I haven't played enough of it. I only played like an hour or two, and I just didn't want to play anymore. I don't know what is wrong with me. I should have played more of it, because as far as I know, it's just as good as the first one, if not better. But I just didn't get into it. Again, the gameplay is next to nothing. It's the best. It's just amazing. One little thing that kind of irked me though, the adaptation of Raz, because in the first game, like, he's cocky and like he kind of like eats his own words, but he's also like he deserves to kind of be like that, because he is very good at what he does. Like, he's one of the best psychonauts, or like one of those people. Sounds a bit strange, but you kind of understand where he's coming from with how cocky he is, because he is like very good. In Psychonauts 2, like, he's just kind of the butt of the joke a lot of the times. Can be funny, but it's also like, what did you do to my boy? What did you do to this guy? He's great, and you just kind of made him a little bit of a joke. He's still great, and I'm sure he is more further into the story as you go, but for the beginning of the game, he's just kind of a joke. And I get it's like the fish out of water thing, because he's brought right into the Psychonauts HQ. He doesn't really know what he's doing. But that's kind of also the same when he first showed up at the camp. Like, he wasn't even invited to the camp. He snuck in. But he just showed everyone what he's worth. With Psychonauts 2, he doesn't really do that in the beginning. You know, that's all that's holding me back. Again, everything else is amazing. The way it looks, oh my god, this game looks beautiful. The characters are still great, except Raz. You know, he kind of takes a bit of a dip as far as I know. But everyone else is great. The storytelling was great as well. How it continued off from the first game was great too. I thought it was gonna be like a big time jump, but it's really not. I'm sure I will love it if I played more of it, but I just didn't. And I'm very sorry that I didn't, but I just didn't want to. I will play and finish this game when I can. I bought the physical edition day one because it released digital only like a year or a year or two ago, but they just released the physical edition like 2 months ago, and I bought that as soon as it came out because I wanted to support this series so much. I love Psychonauts so much, so please, mark my words, I will play this game just when I want to. I will. Next up is Overwatch 2. I had never played the first Overwatch. What I like is that they made this game free to play. You can just have your fun with it. All that I saw was fun new free game to play with friends, And you know what? It's a very fun game to play with friends. For the most part, I would say it goes just below Call of Duty. Because I like playing Call of Duty with friends more. Oh, what is this? Persona 5 Royale? Haven't I already played that? Well, I have, but I haven't played it on the Switch before. So that's my excuse as to why it's in this list. The Persona 5 Royale is one of my favorite games of all time. Not only is it perfect in its storytelling, in its character development, it's just fun. It's the best Persona game in terms of gameplay. It's the best Persona game in terms of its own unique style. They spent so much time on this game to make it what it is, and I'm glad that it released in the state that it did. Not only for vanilla Persona 5, but also with Persona 5 Royale. Royale was just the best thing. It was just the best, like, PlayStation 4 game for the longest time. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm a big Persona fanboy. That's all I can say about the original release of 5 and 5 Royale. For anything new that I have to say about the game, because it released on the Switch, it runs great on the Switch. I'm so glad that they actually cared enough to put this game on modern platforms, especially on the Switch, and have it feel as natural as it does. I can't believe it took them this long, though. It took them like 5 years. But they finally released it on the Switch. Sure, there are times where the quality, like the resolution, might take a dip. Or apparently there was like a lot of bloom on the game to not make it look as downgraded. I did notice more bloom, but I didn't care too much. I only noticed a dip in resolution in the beginning stages. The more I played, I was just like, I might as well just be playing this on the PS5. Like, I can't tell the difference. I didn't care enough to try to look for the little details that were missing or look for the discrepancies in what didn't look as nice on the original version. All that I saw was, this game is finally on the Switch. It's a perfect console for this long-ass game to be on. I'm so glad it did. I'm so glad it released in the way it did, in the state that it did. It's one of the best games I've ever played. Persona 5 Royale is going up in S, right below Psychonauts. I would say this will be above Psychonauts, but because I'm going to rate this, I'm going to take it a little bit lower because I'm rating it as a Switch re-release, not the original game. Now, Sonic Frontiers is an amazing Sonic game. As a standard video game, yeah, it's okay. I always either underestimate or overestimate how much I am a Sonic fan, because my whole history with this franchise is, like a lot of people, is I grew up with Sonic Adventure 2. And I loved it. I loved the chows. I loved the actual stages. Over the years, I played like a bit of Sonic Unleashed, barely. I had Sonic Generations on the PS3, and I loved it. And then like I played a bit of Colors at a friend's house, and I played like the Sonic Mega Collection on Xbox, barely, but I don't remember it. And then when I was like an adult and I cared enough about the gaming scene to know about everything about the Sonic games and what they were, I didn't really play any Sonic games. Forces came out, I didn't care, I didn't play it. I'll play Sonic Adventure 2 on the Xbox 360. I played it on the PC. I played it on the Xbox Series X. And that is where all of my love for the series is just in Sonic Adventure 2. Everything else, like, yeah, I liked Generations. I played a bit more of it when I was an adult, and I was like, this is good. I didn't play that much more, though. So when Sonic Frontiers was first announced to be this open world game, I was like, cool. I've heard that people's clamoring for them to make an open world Sonic game. Again, like going back to her, I watched like Snapcube, and she was talking about how she would love an open world Sonic game. And I was like, great, that would be great. Then when more of the game was coming out, I was watching the fucking forest fire of a press release they were doing when that have the IGN clips of them not knowing how to play the game and using an early build that looked terrible. As time went on and they were releasing more and more about the game and like what the combat is like and what the world could be like and all this, I actually got myself a bit invested into it. I was keeping track. I was watching. I was like, this is pretty cool. I am actually a bit excited for this game to come out. I hope it does well. And then like the last month, the month leading up to it coming out, I was fully like, I'm gonna play this game. I want to play it. This looks so fun to play. It came out. I bought it day one. I was playing it. I played it non-stop. I didn't play it for that long because it's only like a 12, 15 hour game. But I beat it and I got all the trophies. And what I can say is I actually like really liked this game. I never cared enough about all the fucking like the discourse of like, do you prefer the spin dash Sonic or do you prefer the boost Sonic? I guess I'm more of a spin dash because I just grew up with Sonic Adventure 2, but I didn't put my like foot down with anything. I didn't care too much. Playing this, like I would say it's better than Generations even, because Generations is fine, but it's like very short and it just plays. You just play levels that already exist. Sonic Frontiers, like yeah, they have the cyberspace stuff where you just play old levels, but they kind of remake them in the Frontiers whole style, and yeah, they are the weaker parts of the game, but you really don't need to play that much of them. The game was presented very well. The story was like good for a Sonic game, was great for a video game. It was like, you know, pretty good. Voice acting was great. One thing I noticed immediately was how Sonic's voice was a lot deeper, and that was very strange for the beginning, but you eased into it like very quickly. You play through the open zones, and the open zones are fun as hell. And then you play the cyberspace stages, and you're like, this is less fun as fuck, but it's still, you can still enjoy it. Then you play the final bosses in each zone, and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. The music is amazing. The gameplay is amazing. And then you get past the first 3 islands, and you're playing the final 2, and you're like, I just want this to fucking end. The first 3 zones are so fun and so unique. And then you get to the 4th island and it's just climbing towers, which was actually quite like intense and it was fun. Especially because like I fell off the towers a couple times and just so much progress can get erased just like that. That was interesting. And the story picked up there the most as well. And that was really cool. And then the final zone comes out and it's just another grass place. And you just want to get through it as quick as possible to get to the final boss. And then the final boss happens. And I thought it was fine. Not a lot of people agree with that though. They were like, this is kind of cringe, bro. But the final boss was fine. This is a great Sonic game. I'm glad that it came out. I'm glad it's selling well too. It's one of the best Sonic games selling in a long, long time. And they said they're going to make more games like this. Like this is the beginning point of the new era of Sonic or something like that. I'm glad it is because this is a well-made game. It's a very great first step in the right direction for this. Only problems with it really is just that near the end it trails off and they could have made this game run a bit better for the PS5. Like the pop-in is a bit annoying. I didn't care too much about that, but I can't imagine what the Switch version is like. I would say Sonic Frontiers is right there. Maybe even above Pikmin 3 Deluxe if I consider it. You know what? Yes, I'm going to say it, yeah. It's better than the re-release of Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Final 3. What a weird trilogy to end it with, you know? First up, God of War 2018. I've never played a God of War game before, and Ragnarok was coming out, and everyone was excited about that when I was like, ooh, new Sonic game. But then I played Sonic Frontiers, and everyone was telling me, oh, you gotta play Ragnarok. And I was like, well, I never played any of them. And it's like, well, play 2018 then. It's like, okay. One of the most cinematic experiences you've ever seen. The gameplay can be super fun, and the way that it's built, it looks amazing. And oh, you know it. I haven't played enough of it. I only played like 2 hours and I fell off. I am so pathetic. Look at the games that I haven't played enough compared to what I have played and beaten. I beat San Andreas in GTA when I didn't put more than 2 hours into Elden Ring. That's the kind of person I am. I play what I want to play when I want to play it. If I try to force myself to play something just because it's coming out, like God of War or Elden Ring or fucking like Splatoon 3, I just won't get into it. Because I don't want to force myself to play something just because everyone else is talking about it. I'll play what I want to play. Like, I'm glad that I played Sonic Frontiers instead of God of War Ragnarok. Because I liked Sonic Frontiers. I like the basis of Frontiers more than God of War. God of War is just a movie that you can play sometimes. And like, now I sound like really ignorant with that. Actually, I'm gonna take back that statement. God of War is amazing, I'm sure. And I'll play it when I want to play it. I just made the mistake of forcing myself to play it when I didn't really want to at the time. Now, Kingdom Hearts 1.5. Bit of a story behind why this game is on the list. This sounds off topic, but the reason why I got into Persona at all is because one certain friend recommended me the game when I was just out with him one day, and he was like, you should play Persona 5 one day. So I bought it for like $25. I played vanilla Persona 5 and I loved it. And then that spiraled into me playing every single Persona game and making a 2.5 hour long video about the Persona series. I couldn't be more thankful to him for showing me the series and getting me into it because, again, Persona 4 Golden, my favorite game of all time. Persona 3 Fez, Persona 5 Royale, some of the best games I've ever played. The next game that he recommended to me was Kingdom Hearts. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll play that sometime. That was about 2 years ago. I never played it. We kept on talking. He was like, yeah, I believe you'll play Kingdom Hearts when you want to. Just like play it when you can. Because he was like, it's an amazing game. And I was like, I'll play it when I want to. Yeah, I'm sure it's an amazing game. And then we were just talking one day. I was like, yeah, I'm like gonna build a list of all the games that I start playing in 2022. And I swear to you, Kingdom Hearts will be on that list. And he was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. Months go by. And I'm like, I'm not playing Kingdom Hearts right now. I'm playing fucking Splatoon 3. I'm playing fucking Soul Hackers 2. I'm playing Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't want to play Kingdom Hearts. Cut to 2 weeks ago. I'm drunk. First of all, I'm drunk. I'm talking to him. And I'm like, fuck, I've only got like 2-3 weeks left in the year. And I still haven't played it. I guarantee you, tomorrow, I'm going to play Kingdom Hearts. The next day rolls around. And I'm finally playing Kingdom Hearts. So I'm playing Kingdom Hearts right now. I'm playing through it. I still haven't gotten that far into it. I'm only like 2-3 hours in. I'm not going to ditch the game like I have a lot of the other ones. What I can say to you is the game is a PS2 game at heart. It came out for the PS2. But this doesn't feel like a PS2 game in some parts. The style and presentation of this game amazing. Like it looks great. The colors, how vibrant it can be, is amazing. Like I've never seen that before. Like it's so unique in its color palette, in its storytelling, the way it even like begins. Like wow, I'm astounded by it. Ways that it is held back is the gameplay, because I don't really like the gameplay in this game right now. The combat is just pressing one button over and over again, and it's the same animation every single time. And the walking cycle in the game is slow. The camera control is barely there. There's bits like that that remind me, this is a PS2 game I'm playing. Just the one thing that really held me back to playing this game is how Disney it is. I never really watched Disney movies growing up. Not that I remember. I don't have the love and nostalgia for Disney characters and all that. And I don't want to sit through a long-ass game hearing Donald and Goofy talk. Since everyone like loves the game too, I'm sure that doesn't hold people back. And I'm sure it's just myself being like, no, I don't really care about Disney. I don't like that. Like I'm sure the game is fine in and of itself. Like even without all the Disney references and stuff like that, like even though you go through different Disney worlds, like it still feels great all on its own, even if you're not a Disney fan. But that bit of how linked it is to Disney characters and Disney places and how PG it feels and all that really holds me back from playing it, because I didn't grow up with it, and even now I don't really know much about Disney itself, animated movies and stuff, because I haven't watched a lot of them and I don't care to, so that just holds me back for that. But other than that, Kingdom Hearts I'm sure is a great game, and I will keep on playing it because I'm having fun with it so far. There are little bits that kind of annoy me, but I'm fully prepared to buckle down and play this game when I will play it as soon as possible, like when I'm done with stream, maybe tomorrow, something like that. I'm going to keep on playing it through the year. I hope I finish it, because I'm sure it's going to be a great game. There's just little things that kind of hold me back from playing it, but I made a promise that I will play this game, and I am playing it right now. With all that said, I haven't played enough. Now, the final game, it was a very fitting game to end on, for some reason, is Goat Simulator 3. I never played the first one, never played the second one because the second one doesn't exist, but I watched like YouTube videos, like back in like the olden days of YouTube, and I watched like Achievement Hunter play Goat Simulator 1, and I thought that was very funny. And then like out of nowhere, like I was just talking to my friends, and they're like, oh, you should play Goat Simulator with us, it's pretty fun. It's like, oh, that game came out? So I bought it, played it. It is so fucking stupid, but like really fun too. Playing with friends is fun. I actually kind of want to go in, play the game a bit by myself to get like the items in the game they can get, because you can customize the goat and you can do so many weird, funny things that I just didn't have the time to do when I was playing with friends. We're just kind of fucking around the entire map. Like, that's enough, really, to say. It's the kind of game you just kind of have fun with. You don't need to do like a whole deep dive video into Goat Simulator. Has anyone done that? Why would you do that? This is not a game meant to be taken that seriously. You can love it as much as you want, but what else can you say other than funny goat game? You can destroy your friends with it, and it's just kind of funny. Goat Simulator is gonna be put right here. With all that out of the way, these are all the games that I started playing in 2022. And looking at this list, I didn't finish a whole lot of them, but I had my fun. What I aimed to do when I started this list at the beginning of this year was to have a wide variety of games to just kind of expand my horizons of what I play, because right now, for a while, it felt like all I was playing was just RPGs, like Japanese RPGs, and the odd occasional fucking multiplayer game with friends. Not a lot of games that I played by myself that I hadn't played before. So I wanted to play a lot of different ones, and I feel like I did. Like, Ghostwire Tokyo was brand new to me, and I loved it. Fire Emblem Awakening, I had played Fire Emblem beforehand, but I'm glad that I just sat down and played it on my 3DS this year, because it was one of the greatest games I've ever played. I'm glad that I played Sonic Frontiers for the first time when it came out, because I'd never played that much Sonic before, except like hundreds of hours of Sonic Adventure 2. But this was a brand new game. It was a brand new concept, and I loved it. I loved playing it. I'm glad that I played GTA San Andreas to show myself what shit games feel like. I look at this list and I'm thinking, okay, there's a wide variety here. I could have put more hours into some of these games to get a better opinion, like, you know, all these fucking things down here. But for the most part, I'm glad of what I played. But there is one more thing we have to do. We have to rate the best game and the worst game. First, we'll do the worst game, and I already know what it is. It's going to be PUBG. PUBG is the worst game I played this year, by far. I rated Deathwing lower, but the thing is, like, Deathwing was just more forgettable. Like, it's just fucking nothing to play. PUBG was so disgusting to play. I didn't even get the chance to play with my friends. It was so annoying. The game doesn't run well. The parkour, fucking traversing the map is so boring. Gameplay, fucking shooting people is unsatisfying. If you ever even get the chance to see someone before you just die. Like, PUBG is one of the worst games I've ever played. I'm not going to play it again. But now, what is the best game that I played of 2022? Any of these can contend with it. They're all so unique. They're all so innovative. They're so fun to play. I don't know what I want to put, except I'm not going to put Persona 5 Royale, because that feels really cheap to do, to just make it a Persona game, because, like, I've said countless times, I made the video. People know I love Persona. I don't want to kind of just bitch out and make that my favorite game of 2022. The game released fucking 5 years ago. Let's go down the list and just kind of talk about what makes it one of the best games I've played. So Fire Emblem Awakening was like divine grace. Like, it was a series saving grace. This was their last chance of making a Fire Emblem game, and then made it the ultimate Fire Emblem game. It's so compact, doesn't drag on for too long. The story is immaculate. The characters, the gameplay is top notch. It's all great, and this is probably the best Fire Emblem game. I like Three Houses more, but I fully understand why everyone loves Awakening, like, as the best Fire Emblem game, because it might as well be. Fire Emblem Awakening, one of the best Fire Emblem games, one of the best games in general to play, one of the most dramatic stories that fully work. And this is all on a 3DS, by the way. Like, it's a 40-hour game minimum on a 3DS. Like, that's crazy, you know? Psychonauts is something I've never seen before, in that its gameplay is next to none. Its story is some of the most memorable. Its characters and art style are by far the strongest attributes of this. Nothing really holds it back. Like, even the system that it's made on, like, you play this game today, the only thing that makes you think, oh, well, it was an Xbox game, so maybe there were some limitations, it's just that it's a bit shorter. Like, it's a pretty short game. But even then, that's not even a bad thing. Like, you don't need to make every game 40 hours like Fire Emblem, or like 80 hours like Persona. You can have a short, concise 10-hour game. I think it was like 10 hours to play. And it's just like such a good bite-sized material to play. And it's so memorable. Like, it's one of the greater games that everyone should play. Please just play this. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Kind of the same as Awakening. Great story, great characters. just the gameplay is so much better because it's such a great mix of Fire Emblem's whole tactical strategy with Koei Tecmo's Warriors, like fast-paced hack and slash action style, all compacted into one that shouldn't be on the Switch. Neo: The World Ends With You is one of the more interesting games because it's a sequel to a game no one's ever fucking heard of, but it stands on its own as its own perfect game. You can play through the story, the characters, they are great, the gameplay is amazing, but the whole art style and art direction is some of the best, most unique things I've ever seen. The in-game cutscenes are so unique and just like I've never seen this kind of mixture of low poly art style with like early 2000s fucking street whole aesthetic. It's great. And then Thrill of the Fight is just the best VR game to play, not only in terms of it being fun, but it's also just a great exercise for you to do. And then Ghostwire. Ghostwire is an amazing game that came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it to be this good. No one else even thinks that it's this good, but I'm one of the lucky few who fully loves how concise this game is. Like the setting of the whole map, the whole mystery surrounding what exactly happened, the characters, the out of nowhere character design, and all these creatures and fucking Slenderman's in the game. Everyone said that, but it's great. But of these 7 games, which do I think is the best? I didn't think about it beforehand. I was gonna go like maybe either Fire Emblem or Neo, Fire Emblem Awakening specifically. I think I'm gonna go with fuck, dude, this is so tough. You know what? I'm going for Psychonauts. Psychonauts is the best game of 2022. That's my opinion. I believe that is the best game. I rated Fire Emblem higher, but Fire Emblem was going on for a lot longer. It's had its run through. It's had plenty of games before Awakening. And granted, again, Awakening saved the entire franchise. And understandably why. It's amazing. But Psychonauts came out of nowhere. Came out like 10 years before Fire Emblem. But the story, I think, is better than Fire Emblem. The character design and characters in general, so much better than Awakening. I just like that Awakening's longer and like how dramatic the story is, where Psychonauts' story is just more fun, but still like impactful and memorable. You can have so much more fun playing Psychonauts than you can with Fire Emblem, because people can get into Psychonauts more than Fire Emblem. Like, people who don't play RPGs aren't going to change their minds when they play Fire Emblem. Like, if you don't like RPGs, you probably won't like Fire Emblem, even though Awakening is amazing. Like, you probably won't enjoy it as much as everyone else. Psychonauts is a much more understandable game to get behind. It's a platformer action kind of game that everyone can enjoy, and everyone should enjoy. I can compliment this game all day. Everyone else can get into Psychonauts when not everyone can into Fire Emblem. And Psychonauts, you can have so much more fun of a time than with Fire Emblem, because Awakening can piss you off near the end because it gets really difficult. Psychonauts doesn't really do that, but it's not too easy too. So that's probably it. I can't think of anything else to really say. Psychonauts is a amazing game that everyone should play, and I should play the second one of that game. Everyone should delete PUBG, uninstall it, never buy it in the first place, and I should play more of Elden Ring. Yeah. Because that's really the final message I want to give everyone. I should play Elden Ring. It won Game of the Year, but everyone knows that my opinion on Best Game of 2022 actually supersedes the Game Awards 2022. So ignore them. Don't play Elden Ring. Play Psychonauts and Fire Emblem Awakening. Thank you.